Hi, I'm Christian Guzman, and I approve of the Board Shorts and Banter podcast.
What is good, people, and welcome back to the Board Shorts and Banter podcast, episode 101 Dalmatians, mate. Jesus, we actually made it here. We actually made it.
Yeah. If we had a Dalmatian for every podcast that we've done, we'd have 101.
Yeah, imagine just getting like a brand new puppy right now, you know? Like just Dalmatians everywhere. Imagine.
What a time that would be, hey? What a time.
Oh God, yeah. But no, I just want to say before we get started.
Go on.
I was about to say, just want to say before we get stuck into it, thank you to everyone for the reception on the previous podcast. Obviously, episode 100, which is huge. And the guest that we had on as well, pretty damn special in the form of Mr. AJ Morris. And the reception of that episode has been class. And I know we've been here, there, and everywhere recently with the podcast frequency. However, with the show season now coming up, we're going to be back every single week without fail, aren't we, Josh?
Definitely. And just on the AJ podcast, I don't really listen to our podcasts back.
No, neither.
But I listened to that back, and I think it's possibly my favourite podcast that AJ's been on. I think it's nice as well that, like, I know AJ's I see him every day. I know the kid. He's lovely. But then when you listen to him on podcasts, he's so formal, which, you need to be, don't you? When people's asking you really in-depth, sciencey questions, you need to be really formal. But I feel like we got the genuine AJ. We got the version of AJ that I really wanted us to get, and yeah.
The AJ that's on the revenge arc against Mr. Willie.
Yeah. Mr. Willie actually DM'd me saying, that little skinny bitch, he should have gone enhanced. No, I'm joking.
No, but I think the last episode that we did with AJ, I think it was good because it kind of encompassed why we do this podcast anyway as well. And it's because the amount of podcasts that I've listened to with AJ on them, and it's not like I'm disinterested from them, but there's only so much bodybuilding that you can actually fucking talk about before it gets boring. Because when you're in it all the time, sometimes it's nice to step out of it, but step out of it with people that still were in the same interest as you, bodybuilders. Yeah. We all share the same passions, but let's talk about shit that's not just bodybuilding as well, And I think the last episode pretty much encompassed that because it allowed AJ to, like, I don't know, just be himself,
Just be himself,
and obviously I'm not saying he's not himself, but like just chill,
Yeah. No, it was class. But the last few weeks, do you know what, mate? The last few months for both of us have been absolutely mental. And I think the listeners, any regular listener will know, the podcast has not been a priority of ours for a period of time. But I would like to think that life is going to provide us with some consistency. We're going to have plenty of things to discuss. Shows, my prep, your recomp phase.
Whatever phase it is right now. No, it's off season now. It's actually off season now. It's just, it's just been pretty fucking mad, mate. Like I've been in Sheffield now for 9 weeks, right? And in that time, obviously the first couple of weeks was spent, like first 3 weeks really was like moving in and trying to keep up with work, etc. And then straight after that I went to Norway, and then straight after that I went to Portugal. So it's like I haven't had a chance to like settle, if you know what I mean. And obviously that's why the podcast has kind of slipped in the priorities a little bit. But still, we're back now, mate. We're back. And the off-season's back on. Your prep is on. I'm fucking excited, mate.
Yeah. It's a very exciting time. For anyone that is interested, my body is like a furnace at the minute. Tom, guess how much I weighed this morning?
I got it bang on yesterday, didn't I?
Yeah, what did you guess yesterday? 88.4?
88.4. So today, 88 on the nose. No,
just a little bit above 88.1.
Ooh, okay. That's good though.
But, mate, I'm feeling the drops. When you're waking up and you're like, oh yeah, a little bit sorer than what I normally am. Like today, for instance, on my usual walk that I normally power through, ankles are starting to just click a little bit. That's just a sign that there's random bits of fat that are just coming away from joints, and now the bones are just, giving each other a little bit of a knock. It's getting fun.
Yes, it's what we call like friction shredded, you know, like when,
Yeah,
when your
yeah,
bones just start to like grind and like joints don't really work properly anymore, like friction shredded. That's what we're gonna coin
Yeah.
that, mate.
Friction shred.
Perfect.
We've got that bone on bone action, baby.
I love a bit of boner action.
Yeah.
And I can tell that things are going well because, as like a contrast effect, I now look like fat in my face and you don't. Like, you're making me look like a solid 3 out of 10.
Yeah, baby. Nah, look.
Do you know what I mean?
I don't think that the shredded look looks particularly well on me. And you know, if you want to see what that looks like, just go back to episode. I reckon it was like episode 5 or 6 was me at my leanest ever. Like, genuinely, we both look fucked.
And like the
Very
podcast,
fucked.
I'm sure if you listen back to the podcast back then as well, you probably have to play it on like 1.5 speed just to actually get through the podcast. So both like, yeah, it's going really well. Prep, yeah, fantastic.
I feel amazing. Yeah, it's definitely not one that you want to listen to pre-gym. It will probably send you to sleep.
I am very feel. I'm very feel.
Very feel.
But how's prep actually going, mate? You haven't given the people an update in a while.
Really bloody good. As per, you come up against a few issues, but you know, besides a few minor issues, we're just cracking on. Body weight is coming down. The physique is looking better and better and better. I don't think I've ever had as much density in my physique at my current body weight ever. Mm-hmm. I don't want to guess stage weight. I would like to think that stage weight is going to be pretty much the same as what it always has been, but I just want it to look a little bit more extreme. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like if I get beat, fine. I just don't want anyone to be more conditioned than I am or have more muscle. If someone beats me because they've got better shape or whatever, then fine, I can live with that. But I just want to have that you know, freaky look, like that, but just a little tiny bit more extreme.
Yeah. Well, mate, at the end of the day, like, you can only control what you can control, isn't it? Like, if you bring in a better Josh than last time, regardless of the fact, like, if you're better than what you was when you were world champion, that's like a world champion physique. It just wasn't the year for you, for instance. You can that's the part of bodybuilding that you can't fucking control, isn't it? So yeah, mate. Yeah. As long as you bring a bit of a freakier version, that's all you can do, mate. So that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah. So all is good.
Where was like your sweet spot in terms of body weight last time? Where you was like, some shredded. How much did you weigh there?
78.5.
Yeah.
79.
Yeah.
And that I would say that was my favourite look.
Do you think you could carry on?
No, I did PCA Yorkshire at I think I was 80.8. And then when I did the Worlds, my show day weight was just under 78 kilos, 77.6, I think.
Do you think which do you think was better, summer shredding or Worlds?
Summer shredding.
Yeah.
There were so many things that played into that as well, though. So, like, in Seattle, it was freezing.
I was literally just about to say, the Texas heat, I bet that helped.
Yeah. Honestly, mate, training and actually getting a pump from it being warm brought my physique to life. You know, because summer shredding was such a big show, I was at the venue from, like, 10 in the morning till midnight, pretty much both days. Mm-hmm. In fact, now the second day finished a bit earlier, but you'd go outside in the sun and then the vascularity would come out. So, you know, like normally, what I would do is just try and get a pump 2 or 3 times on the run up to stepping on stage. You didn't really need to do that. You could just kind of go outside, take in a bit of sunlight, experience the heat, and then you'd see where you're at without having to actually, you know, do anything.
Yeah.
It was just great.
Was Seattle cold?
Seattle was freezing.
Was it? Mad.
Yeah, it didn't snow, but it was like between 0 and 3 degrees.
Yeah, but the US is that big, isn't it? That when you go geographically different places, like the climate is just completely fucking different.
Yeah. I mean, Seattle's I think it was a 2-hour drive from Canada. That's how,
that's what I mean. It's
that's
really
how
north,
north it is.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, grim. This year
Yeah.
the Worlds are in LA. I can't see me competing at it, but if any of my clients do, Tam, if you're listening, get saving up, bro. That'll be great because it'll be a warm climate again.
Mm-hmm.
Then the physique should respond better. Boston were cold as well, mate. You know, for Charlie and Martin.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Tam's looking good, mate. Little shout out to Tam. He's looking very good.
Go on his Insta.
We're gonna get some screen sharing on the go.
Yeah, we've got to. Of course, if there's anyone that's following or listening to this podcast and doesn't follow Tam, I need to show you what we're doing because it's
2 seconds.
insane. And then I'll talk through a little bit on like what the plan has been. I'll get his body weight up.
Right, 2 seconds. We're kicking this off, and we're going to be on the MBW screen share. It's been that long since we've done the podcast, mate. I've forgotten how to screen share. That's good, isn't it?
So good.
There we go.
Right.
Tams Lean. Tam is getting lean.
Tams Lean.
Is he called Tams
buddy.
Lean just because, like, as in like lean, as in shredded?
Yeah. His surname's Robertson.
Yeah.
Right, that one. Get that bad boy up. So that is a week ago. So basically what we've done with Tam, which is a little bit different to what I've seen many people do, we've done a slightly longer pre-prep dieting phase. So we started dieting at the start of the year, and we started at pretty much 190 pounds. And then we've dieted from January till the start of May. Took it down to 171 pounds. And then we're doing a bit of a reverse diet, a little bit of you could call it a health phase. You know, bumping food up, bringing steps down, getting Tam's blood work done, making sure that everything's as optimal as what it can be. We've kind of tweaked his training. Tam's decided to train at a much better gym for the first time in his bodybuilding career. And his physique has just agreed with everything. So the photos that you can see on the screen here are Tam at 172. He's up to 174 now after having a few off-plan meals with his friends and fam. And then we're probably going to restart prep either at the start of June or mid-June. And when he starts, we'll probably end up going up to like 177 pounds, and he'll be roughly 17 pounds away from stage weight.
So basically, you're just doing a bit of a diet break now.
So many tools. Yeah, but in fact, I don't want to say what we're doing until we've done it. Because if it doesn't work, then people are going to go, oh, fucking no, oh, Josh, that was stupid. But then if it does work, then me and Tam have nailed it. But we're just doing this reverse diet a little bit different.
Yeah, so small reverse. Going to put on a little bit of body weight, get health markers back to where they need to be. And then, as you said, you think you've got around 17 pounds to pull off.
Yeah, go back on Tam's thing. I don't know if he shared his... No, I don't think he has. He had his bloods done recently. And his testosterone has gone up in the last month. When he's at the leanest that he's been so far. So...
Okay.
Yeah, we're very, very much prioritising Tam's health, which is just wonderbar.
I feel like that's something that he holds dearly as well, isn't it? Is his health.
Now he does, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
I think because he's not the youngest. That's the end of last year.
Have you ever had your test done like that? Like you ever checked yours?
No, mate. I'll be honest with you. It wigs me out.
Wigs you out?
Like like with AJ talking about the duration of his prep. How long have you been prepping for? No idea. I'd rather not know. I'm doing everything that I can to look after my body to ensure that if I was to track testosterone, I would like to think that it's still pretty high.
Yeah.
Or not much lower than off-season Josh. But if I did it and then saw that it had dropped, it would affect me mentally. It's like,
Yeah.
it's why I don't wear an Oura ring or a Whoop. I would love to know what my sleep score is, but I know that one sleep or something like that isn't where it should be. I know it's going to affect me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those ignorance is bliss, isn't it? And I think some people, especially like it's like when it comes to like tracking in the logbook, and they start to see those numbers going down, and it starts to affect them even more so than what it would usually. You've got to have like a certain mindset to be able to like work through that, haven't you? And if it's some people are just going to get wavered by it. So yeah, I respect it. I think that the highest mine ever come back was 31, which is pretty wild. And then at the end of prep, I don't understand. I do not understand this. This is wild, right? At the end of prep, mine was 7, like 7. So 31 down to 7 at the end of prep. But I know people
So
Aaron.
When did you get your bloods done? At the end of prep, was it? No. At the end of prep, was it before you stepped on stage?
No, it was just after.
So prep was finished, done.
Yeah, but for like a week.
Okay. No. But my point is, if I did
it's done.
I'd have to do it then. But even then, if I saw that it was low, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. I know it's low. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'd still struggle.
Yeah. So I got it done.
I need to get better at that. I'll be honest.
Just confronting shit, bro, is what it is. You could use it as a motivating factor. It's like, cool, my test is low. Well, now I'm just going to keep pushing myself. Like, that is a circumstance that I'm dealing with. Let's roll with it. Rather than be like, oh, I'm fragile, I'm weak, I'm melting,
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was 7 post-prep. And I was like an old man, bro. I'm talking like firing blanks and stuff, And I know people that have gone down to like near untraceable levels of testosterone. Like Aaron Carpenter, his went down to like 0.7 or whatever it was. Mine was 7, and I think it's relative to where your testosterone levels would usually be at. Obviously mine, well, what would that be? 7, almost 4 times lower than where they usually would be, But yeah, just wild. Jesus. Wild. But you're feeling good though, and that's all that matters. So,
feeling fucking fresh, bruh.
Yeah. Mate,
there has been one thing that's made me not feel so fresh recently, and that is the purchase of my little dog, my little amigo, Winnie Croggan, the Dachshund.
You've just been gagging to talk about her, haven't you?
Mate, been gagging. You should see. In fact, did I show you my camera roll yesterday? It's just full of dog pictures.
Yeah. Welcome to doggy dad ship, whatever you want to call it.
It's a weird phase of life, but I'm here for it. Yeah, her sleep. The last 3 days, sleep's been fine. She slept all the way through. She wakes up at 6:30, just like her mum and dad. But prior to that, no buen. And she's brought out a side of me that I knew it was there, but I didn't realise how much it was there. This soft side of me.
The big softie.
Yeah.
The big softie.
Mate. First night. So what are you crying for, darling? Daddy's here. Mate, first night, it was like 1 a.m, and I heard her crying. I was like in bed with Annabella, and Annabella's like, no, she's fine. She needs to learn to self-soothe. I was like, I can't do that to her. So I went and sat on the kitchen floor for like nearly 2 hours, just stroking and going, it's okay, Daddy's here.
You just, as hard as it is, mate, you just got to be a bit ruthless.
Yeah. I learned after that because I was absolutely fucked the day after.
Yeah, you've not chose. There's never a right time.
Go on. Tell me.
No. There's never a right time, but it's a good challenge for you. I'll tell you that.
I like the challenge. I'll be honest with you, mate. Right. So, I think. Because now Annabella works with me, everything that we talk about is online coaching, it's planning, it's intense.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, every night before bed, we're talking about what we're doing the next day. It's intense. And I don't want us to lose our relationship because of work. Yeah. So getting the dog, obviously, I've always wanted a dog. It's just kind of been picking the right time. I mean, what you say is right. There's never the right time. Just got to kind of do it when it feels like it might be right. Getting the dog, right? Winnie does not give a monkeys about work. She cares about two things: cuddles
Eating.
and food.
Eating, pissing, shitting, cuddles.
She doesn't even give it. She doesn't even care about shitting or pissing. She just does what she wants. Nah, I'm joking. She's getting good on the training on that. But having Winnie is like almost like brought me and Annabelle. Like we just have moments where it's not work, it's something completely different, and we've got to be a team on it. It's nice. Yep. It's nice. It's grounding. It's good for planning for the future. Because one day we're going to have kids, and we're still going to want to do everything that we're doing. And if we're able to manage this, then we will manage that, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's training grounds, mate. It's what it is, isn't it? Throwing yourself in the deep end a little bit, but like, it's a good thing because if you can do it now, you'll be a breeze post prep as well.
Yeah. Oh, mate, I love throwing myself into the deep end with stuff. I like feeling that. Oh yeah, we're being stretched here.
Yeah, it's like me. It's like me with caffeine, mate. I haven't drunk caffeine for a month now.
You're kidding?
No. And this morning I woke up and I had a moment of realization. I was like, I've actually woken up feeling good. Like my energy levels are fine. I actually feel like I'm like cognitively clearer as well. And it was the same thing. Like I just like throw myself in the deep end. Obviously people would, usually wean off caffeine. Nah, fuck that. I was like, going on holiday, trying to manage my training, manage work. I was like, the smarter thing to do would be to kind of like wean off it. I was just like, nah, I'm just going to cut it out. And it's fine. I'm actually not going to, I don't think I'm going to go back to it, mate. The challenge is going to be prep. That's going to be the hard one when food is low,
I think at that point, I think coffee would be your best friend. I think Monsters, we're going back to me talking about Boston. When I went to Boston last year, I drank so many energy drinks because of the jet lag. And it just made me feel like shit. It was more energy drinks than I've ever had in my life over a week period. Maybe. Talking like 2 or 3 a day. Right? Whereas on a normal week in the UK, I might have 2, maximum 3. Speaking of... Hello, my darling. This is what? It's a dumbbell. Oh.
What's this?
Hang on. Put a dumbbell on the coffee.
It looks like Winnie.
Yeah, Winnie the dumbbell. But I think all the additives, all the shit that's in Monsters, Ghosts, all that stuff, that makes you feel a bit shit. Like I remember coming home and like just feeling a little bit more anxious than what I normally would, and like not being able to concentrate on things that normally would be a breeze. Yeah. Whereas having a coffee, where it's coffee beans that are grounded, and then you just fucking run hot water through it, it helps with that like laser focus rather than, feeling like.
Yeah. I think the solution here is I wouldn't want to tie a habit to something that's enjoyable. So like caffeine, for instance, what do I want to get out of it? The main thing that you drink caffeine for is for the energy. But when you drink coffee and you enjoy coffee, or you really enjoy a white monster, it's the whole experience. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think that what I've been thinking is on prep, if I need energy, I'll take caffeine tablets. Because I don't want to have caffeine tablets all the time. Why would I do that? That's weird. But if I need fucking energy on prep, don't go to the white monsters, because guess what? They taste amazing when you're on prep. Coffee, when you're hungry, tastes amazing on prep. So it's like, if I'm just having a pill to give me energy, to utilize it for that benefit and that benefit only, I think coming off of caffeine post-prep would be a breeze. Yeah. Because, like, do you know what?
It's not, because it's not an enjoyable experience popping a tablet, let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I just want to utilise it for that and that only. That's the only thing I'm concerned about, because I can replace that taste with other things. Like, have you ever had Aquarius?
That's a star sign, isn't it?
Well, it is, but Aquarius, like, I was drinking this over in Portugal. It literally tastes... I'm going to share the screen. Right, share screen... let's go.
Have I ever had an Aquarius? I don't know. Annabella, what's your star sign? What is Annabella's star sign?
So, Aquarius, it even looks like a white monster, mate. White. So this shit right here, can you see my screen? Yeah. So it's like the same colour as white monster. and it literally tastes like White Monster without caffeine. It's just a hydration drink. It's like an electrolyte drink in over in Spain and Portugal and stuff like that. Amazing. So I've just been nailing them, and it's made my life so much easier because it just tastes like Monster. You know, so easy work.
Okay, if that works for you, brother, all power to you. Nice.
When are you gonna quit caffeine then?
Never. It's like saying, well, when are you going to chop your balls off? Why would I want to do that?
I just. Do you know when you haven't had your coffee though, you feel like a bit of a crackhead, don't you? It's like,
I could easily not have one. I just like them.
No, that's fair enough.
I like getting into that like buzz mode as well when we've got a podcast. Them things that you stick in your gums. Snus. If they didn't make me feel sick, I'd probably have them.
just get a flat out nicotine addiction.
Yeah. Just go one on each side, and then podcasts are just going to be leveled up to the high.
Have you tried one before?
Yeah, once.
Bro, oh my god, have you had a strong one?
Yep.
Oh my god, I nearly like shit my pants at the Christmas table last year. My brother was like, "Here you go, try this." I was like, "Okay." Oh, I've had snus before. He's like, "Yeah, but these ones are strong." I was like, "Huh, yeah, okay then, if you say so." Popped it in there. Within literally like 2 minutes, mate, my head was like a wave. The room was like closing in on me, and I felt like I was just gonna shit my pants. Yeah, not good. Had to leave. Had to go upstairs and do my thing.
Just throw up.
No, just go to the drop the kids off at the pool.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, mate,
yeah.
It made me throw up.
Really?
I've not told this story, and to be honest, I think Annabella would know. If
right,
I'm sure she's going to be able to hear it. Or she'll watch the podcast back. Anyway, so in our engagement party when I got battered.
Yeah.
Right. So one of my mates, Will, we're in this off license, and he was like, "Oh, have you ever had one of these?" I was like, "No, never had one." He went, "They sober you up." I was like, "Oh, do they?" Because I was obviously absolutely blotto.
Railed.
He's like, yeah. They sober you up. So he was like, yeah, passed it me, put it in, and I had it in for about 20 minutes.
Oh god.
And it was like really strong. And I got back to the flat, and honestly, it felt like I was sat at my kitchen like side, and it felt like the kitchen side were going like that. And I put my head on it, and then I sat up. I was like, oh no. And he looked at me and went, "Did you take it out?" I was like, "No." And he was like, "Oh shit." And then that were it. Chunned it in a pint glass. I was in a bit of a pickle. But it's all his fault. It's all Will's fault.
Would he be listening to this?
I hope so. Will. Oh no. Will makes jokes about it all the time. He knew that he was sentencing me to a life of pain by giving me that.
God. Do you know those things like give you like receding gum line and everything? Like they literally make like your gum lines recede. Yeah, it's horrible.
Apparently footballers take it.
Oh yeah, what like in a game? Or...
Yeah.
Well, it's like really popular.
Yeah.
Mad.
Do you know Cole Palmer is?
I've heard of him.
He's famous for going like this when he scores. He goes, "Ooh, cold."
Oh, okay. Was he called Cole Palmer?
Cole Palmer, but it's cold.
Yeah. Do people call him Cold Palmer?
Yeah, pretty much.
I like that. That's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently he's a bit of a snus fan.
So he's gonna be running around soon, right? And he's just like he's gonna have like no lips, no gums, just like
go on. Search Cole Palmer.
Hang on. Let's get a screen share. 2 seconds.
For those listening, Tom doesn't really know footballers, so this is quite.
Oh, he's already pretty.
Get him on the screen share. Yeah, he's pretty cooked.
Pretty cooked.
Get him on the screen share.
I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't call him cooked.
Get him on the screen share. There we go. Yeah, mate, that is a snuz man.
That is a snuz man and a half. I don't think he needs to show his teeth anymore already. You know.
Yeah.
He could kind of continue to keep them tucked away. Where does he play?
Oh my god.
What?
Mate, I've just had a message from someone. I thought it was a one of them like I can help you get 10 new clients in the next 30 seconds. Just listen to my thing.
Oh, that's good.
I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it out loud for the pod. James Cantoni. Do you know him?
Right. No.
Morning, mate. First up, just wanted to say nice one to you and Tom for making the BSB pod. Binged over 70 episodes. Learnt a ton and kept me going through tens, if not hundreds of thousands of steps this prep. Excited for my first show ever this weekend with the PCA. Would love your thoughts on effectively managing business / coaching through the depths of a prep. Clients always get prioritized, but it's been tougher than expected, particularly managing energy, being creative and getting content out consistently. Big love, James. James, mate. Oh boy. For starters, can't wait to see you at the PCA show.
Yes, that'd be sick.
Secondly, I hope you don't beat any of my clients. No,
I
one of
thought
his boys.
Is he looking good?
Yeah, he's decent.
Show him. Show the man. There we go. He's got a feature on the podcast.
There you go, mate. Got a feature on the podcast at the first time of DMing.
Well,
Ian Talbot
mate.
had to wait like 80 episodes for that. Yeah, thank you, mate. That's pretty sick. So the question: would love your thoughts on effectively managing business coaching through the depths of a prep?
If you don't have the tools available to you right now to automate a lot of your stuff, then ultimately something is going to give a little bit.
What would you automate?
Well, as in, like, if you've got like a videographer that can literally like capture all of your content for you on a consistent basis, and you don't have to think about it.
Not using AI. Delegate.
No. Yeah, ChatGPT, can you just write this client program for me, please, bro?
Yeah.
No.
ChatGPT,
so, like,
listen to this check-in, please.
Yeah, like, so he's talking about like the creativity, content creation, keeping, clients are always prioritized. He said that, but in terms of like every other element of his business, like it does kind of like drop off a little bit, or something's got to give. And I think that is the case. Something's got to give. But if you've got pre-planning in place for prep, if you've got systems in place such as paying a videographer, if that's something that you can afford in order to, get that content made for you so you don't have to worry about it, that would be my advice, because ultimately your energy does need to go into your prep. Time is going to be more limited. Your energy does need to go into your existing clients that you've got right now. So I think automation or just outsourcing is probably the best way that you can do that. Unless you're an absolute machine, which some people are, absolutely. Unless you can get more efficient with how you actually create content and whatnot and come up with ideas, then you could do that. But I think outsourcing is a good way to do it. If it's your business, you should be outsourcing some stuff,
Yeah. There's part of me that just wants to say, just mate, you've chose to do this. You want to leverage prep as much as possible. Like, you've got to do the content, but it is tough that first time round. AJ's obviously, I'm going to be citing AJ a lot because he was the last person on the podcast and he was very honest in everything. He does all of his own content and preps over 100 people at any one time. Like, if he's able to do it and do it to the standards that he set, then you really need to probably spend a bit of time looking at yourself and asking the question, am I efficient with what I do? Like, how I spend my time. Like, when you're doing a check-in, are you pissing about on Instagram scrolling, or are you fucking about going and making a coffee every 20 minutes? Or are you able to lock in and get everything done over a shorter period of time? Getting shit done is always going to be my go-to. All right, okay, yes, you can automate stuff, you can delegate certain bits. I think delegating content is almost essential, because you're gonna have to. You either have to spend hours and hours and hours getting good at making content, which would then take away from money that you could earn from actually coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think delegating content 100%, and then everything else you just got to look at it and go, am I doing this as efficiently as what I could? It might be that you need to tweak your check-in process. My guys, if they're not checked in by 10 a.m, you're going to get your check-in the day after. I've got, I've got priorities within my athlete life that I can't let the business stuff kind of affect that, because it all works in unison. If someone can't check in on time, unless it's a legit reason, then you're going to be moved on the priorities.
You can't let someone else's lack of, if you want to call it athleticism, like if you're being coached and you're checking in, you can't let someone else's lack of commitment as a coach reflect your lack of commitment to your own journey. Because if you're picking up the pieces for everyone else, you're going to push yourself down, and that's not what you want. So yes, you absolutely need to just fucking suck it up and crack on with it, and be very, very anal and anal, bro. Disciplined with your time, like guard your set clear boundaries for yourself. But then again, with content, it is a fucking time dump. Especially if you're editing it yourself, if you're recording it yourself, if you're coming up with ideas. At minimum, come up with the fucking ideas, because you are the business, and then outsource that shit. Get someone to record it, get someone to edit it. It's going to be better than what you would have done anyway, because they've had the time, and it's in their incentive to actually do a good job of it, because you're paying them. So it's an expense, but it's wins all round.
The two main bits of content that I get outsourced, and one bit is what we get outsourced, is for me my YouTube video editing. I don't do any of that anymore. I've got a guy, I'll give him a shout out because I think he's fantastic. Tim Dixon, who does me 4 videos for 250 quid. It would take me about 12 hours to edit 4 videos. That's a full day's work editing for frigging YouTube, right? Whereas if I can create 12 more hours in my month, that could either, improve on client success, as in getting them better results, or client, lead generation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I just and then, it's do you enjoy editing videos?
Hate it.
Yeah. So why would you do something you hate?
Exactly.
But it's a necessary part of the business.
Our podcast, we have reels every single episode. And we outsourced that as early as we possibly could. How many episodes in was that? 30?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, something like that.
It weren't. What?
I was just about to say game changer.
Yeah, game changer. Because I was doing it before, trying to use AI to create the reels, and it was just shit. And again, it would take. I'd use AI to try and make 1-minute videos, and it was still taking me well over an hour to do. Whereas we've outsourced that now, and flow's much better. There's no complaints at all on that. I'm going to give a shout out to our man on the ground that does that, Mr. Chris. What's Chris's surname?
Travers. Chris
Travers. So if you are an individual that is wanting to get into the content creation stuff, there's 2 people there, Tim Dixon and Chris Travers, that are both fantastic. And just for perspective, this is no piss take, as we are on the podcast right now. So yesterday at 1 p.m, I uploaded my latest vlog to Dropbox, and this morning at 9:29, so 20 minutes ago, edited, screenshots, all sorted, ready to upload to YouTube today.
Sick.
That is turnaround.
Yeah, there we go.
Right. So, there's no way I could have done that.
No. And again, because you don't enjoy it, whereas he probably doesn't mind doing it, hence why he's getting paid for it. It's for him, he's going to make a better video,
100%.
Yeah, so hopefully that answers your question, mate, and thank you for listening to the podcast, and thank you for binging 70 episodes. I thought he was going to say you binged last night and you wanted advice, but I'm glad to hear it was a good binge, a healthy binge.
Yeah, I had to look through it really quick just to make sure that it wasn't. I binge ate last night.
Oh, shit. I'm a week out.
I'm trying not to tell you, coach, mate. Oh dear. Right. What else? Do we have shows recently? Go on.
Shows recently?
Yeah.
What shows have been on recently?
That we've... Uh,
Mr.
What was what?
Mr. Gerald,
That's exactly who I was going to say,
Gerald.
Mr. Gerald Alavazo.
the man with the human Ken doll face.
He's not real life, is he?
No, he looks like AI generated. Do you know what I mean?
He's AI generated. If you
Right,
put
let me
AI, make me a Barbie stroke Jeremy Buendia stroke Ryan Terry-esque physique, it would come up with Gerald
Look at that.
Alavazo.
Look at that
Oh
jawline.
boy.
Yeah. So he took the
Gerald's
cards.
fantastic.
He is. I think it's just one of those things where like he's finally committed and nailed it, and he's even said that himself. Like I think he was just like a part-time bodybuilder before. He was in it, but he wasn't in it, if you know what I mean. Versus this time, it was kind of like a little bit different, and that's what it takes to get to that level.
It is. I've said it on YouTube recently. There's winners and there's champions, and I think for the first few years of Gerald's bodybuilding, he had that winner's mindset. Don't lock in, turn up, or apply yourself to a prep. Let's say 80%. Turn up and win because you're genetically gifted, but then you don't quite reach that top 1% because you're not locked in. Whereas I think this last 12 months, Gerald's been locked in, and it shows in his physique. I've known Gerald since my first year of competing, 2019, and the kid loves his KFC. And I remember every single show, he'd compete, take the dub, go and have KFC. This year, you're seeing him he won his regional same day in the gym training.
Yeah.
Because it's not the end goal. Yes, he's won, but that's not what you're working towards. You're working towards becoming one of the best in the country, or that's being in the fucking men's physique game. He's absolutely insane. I'm so glad. Yeah, he's
Look at his
sick.
biceps
I'm so
split in a
glad
second.
that he's locked in now. Yeah, he's filthy. Do you want to know what's scary about him as well?
Probably weighs like 50 kilo.
No, way worse than that.
What?
There's two of him.
Yes, his brother.
His brother.
Isn't it Jester? Something like that. There we go.
Jester.
There's another one.
What the fuck?
Do you want to know what's worse? There's two. Literally the same person.
Same mindset, clearly. Doesn't lock in, then locks the fuck in.
From KFC to... Yeah,
wild.
It's mad, isn't it? 'Cause sometimes, like even between like brothers, for instance, you can see like one's got good genetics versus one hasn't. They're the same.
Yeah,
I think Gerald even says like maybe his brother's like a bit better than him.
Yeah, maybe.
But
fucking
I think they're just
ridiculous,
the same,
mate.
Yeah, and that's like, look at his arm in this.
Yeah, mate. Are they twins?
No.
Watch Gerald. Watch Jess to be like 3 years younger or something. They just look the same. I wish Jack tried more. Oh, I'd love to have this with my little brother.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be very, very cool.
Yeah. Instead, he's gone and got a membership at fucking Bannontine's. What's he playing at?
Oh, God. Everyone, go find Josh's brother's Instagram and just give him hate.
Call him a virgin.
Do you know when AJ got called unfit by Mr. Woolley? This is where we start Jack's villain arc,
Yeah. You'll never be anything like your brother. Oh, I hate that.
Oh,
right, I've got a few questions.
You'll always be in Josh's
Not
shadow.
many. Yes, because you are short. Josh Dandy, fantastic name. If you had a door in your house that went anywhere, where would it go?
To the gym.
Narnia. You are?
To the gym.
Which gym?
No, I'm joking. To Five Guys. Like, you just got this one door and it just opens all the time and it's just Five Guys. That'd be good. Having a bit of a shit day? Five Guys. Feel a little bit stressed? Five Guys. Hungry? Five Guys. What about you?
I'd probably say a beach, but then you'd end up with sand I'd end up with sand all in the apartment, and that's not. It's not nice.
Winnie will be running it everywhere, mate.
Oh, mate, she'd be eaten by sharks, 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, little snack, little hot dog. Gone.
Where would I want it to go? Probably a beach.
Okay.
Grim day in Sheffield, raining. Oh, it's all right. I'm just going to go to
Maldives.
Yeah, just going to go to the Maldives.
Yeah. Okay. Mine would go to a beach that has a Five Guys on it.
Okay. A beach of Five Guys. A beach of burgers.
Yeah.
Imagine.
Sign me up.
God damn.
Sign me up.
Finn Cartwright. Finn Cartwright, what a lovely boy he is.
He is.
Do you know Finn? Yeah.
Yeah, of course I know Finn.
Yeah, I saw him in Ultraflex the other day, and just so lovely to see him. Him and his girlfriend listen to the podcast together.
Come on. Thank you, guys.
I can't remember his girlfriend's name, so shout out to Finn's girlfriend. Finn has asked, can I have some of your old NBW clothes, preferably worn? Right, okay.
Oh.
Right.
I don't have any, so only you can answer this one, bro.
The answer is no. Annabella is also a big NBW fan, and she has first dibs on all of the clothing.
Yeah. Maybe like a third hand-me-down. So once Annabella's done with it, she could then pass it off to him.
Yeah, I don't think he'd be interested then.
How do you feel about a guy wearing clothes that your girl has worn?
Probably won't be all for it, to be honest. Actually, they'd be pretty small guys. So
yeah.
If a guy's wearing Annabella's clothes, then I don't think that they're going to be too much of a threat.
Some like Alpha Elite Amplify range. Little leggings, just hugging over Finn's booty. Nice.
And Finn's crotch.
Revolute spread.
Tom H Fitness. At what point of prep do you feel like you start to look decent and less flat post bulk? This is relative, so relative to the individual. I think the more out of shape you are initially, the longer it's going to take, and then equally the less muscle that you've got, the longer it's going to take before you start looking like you're actually dieting. I think for myself, I'm starting to get into that pumps a really good phase. So maybe 8 weeks of dieting, you should start to see lines, veins that you've never seen or not seen for a while.
Yeah. I think it's just going to vary between individuals, isn't it? As you said, depending on your start point. If you're super fat, maybe not for 6 months. If you're in half decent shape, 6 to 8 weeks. Yeah.
He's also asked, Natural Bodybuilding School Sports Day, who's winning what? So what have we got? We've got egg and spoon race.
Mm-hmm.
I've not got a very steady hand, so I would not be winning that.
Yeah, this is why I did bodybuilding, mate, because coordination is not my A game.
Is it any natural bodybuilder, or is it just you and me? I reckon it's any natural bodybuilder. Who would we have winning the egg and spoon race?
AJ.
Really?
I think he's just coordination. He's had to hone in those skills over a few years. Race car driving, steady hand, accurate.
I would have had AJ for the 5K just so that Mr. Willie doesn't give him any shit.
Potentially. Yeah, I think AJ might win the 5K right now, given how light and aerodynamic he is,
Yeah, just jump in the air and fly.
Just a knife, just like a knife through the air. He's like a Porsche GT3 RS,
Yeah, he is. A brand new Porsche GT3 RS. Round and bends, just hugging the track.
Yeah, okay, let's go AJ 5K because I feel like he's kind of we need to give him the gratitude of gratification of closing the villain arc.
Yeah.
He's nearly there, so we'll give him that one. Egg and spoon race.
Trying to think who else is there. Johnny Clough. You've got to give Johnny Clough something. He'd win tug of war, him.
Yeah, just the
On his own.
determination, you know.
On his own. On the other side, you've got me, Adam Powell. Who else is natty? Loz. Keefe. Keefe's on it, right? And Johnny just gives it one big blah. Done.
I don't think Keefe would win on the egg and spoon race. He'd just like keep dropping the egg, be like fuck, you know, fuck. He'd probably eat it. To be fair, he'd eat it before it got to the line, because like muscle protein breakdown from like at least 20 meters of walking. Like he's got to get that shit back in him, you know.
I can't imagine Keefe would be able to run though. So even someone with a spoon walking at a fairly brisk pace.
Yeah.
Lee Kemp would win the egg and spoon race. 100%.
Yeah.
It's in the bag. He's been here time and time again. All day.
He's come all the way from the start line, approximately 10 meters away.
School sports day events.
Okay. Sprint. I've got it. Sprint. That's me.
You what? Yeah. Really? Okay. Yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah. You can have the sprint. What else is there?
Oh, bro, you would have tendons and ligaments flying around everywhere. You would.
I'd win shot put.
Yeah, you'd win shot put. That's fine. You got some mass. You got some power. You got, nice, healthy joints.
Just
I'll give you the shot put.
Just so right, I've just found a list on Google of sports day events.
Okay.
And on there now, this is for 2025, is balloon tennis.
Okay.
So rather than a tennis ball, you use a balloon.
Right.
Right. That's terrible. Golf ball painting.
Painting.
Yep. Golf ball, and you paint it. So that sounds great.
It could no. It could be like on a big sheet of paper, and like the ball's covered in paint, and you're like hitting the ball around. No.
Paint the golf ball is the aim of the game, and then there's a clean up and wash hands competition.
Am I living in a fucking simulation right now?
What is wrong with people? Anyone with kids? Can you just tell us if this is true? Do your kids have to wash hands, and then it's encouraged that there's no winners? Great.
Oh my god. Yeah, this is simulation stuff, mate.
Yeah. Oh well.
Isn't it?
God almighty.
What do you think of that?
Load of crap, innit? Good job when you don't have to go to school.
Yeah. Fucking hell. Honestly, I think that's ridiculous, man. Ooh, what's the washing hands about? Is that like tied to the old, the C word? Make sure you wash your hands.
Oh,
inclusivity.
Hands the best.
Can't use a tennis ball. It might hit you in the face, or it might go too fast if you can't move quick enough because you're too fat.
So let's use a balloon.
A balloon. Inclusive
Jesus.
balloon. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Anyway, yeah, Tom, I hope that's answered your question. Lee would win the egg and spoon race. AJ would win the 5K. Tom would win sprints. Johnny Clough would win tug of war. And I'm probably not winning much. There's it. My dad's got a great. Go on.
It's the golf ball painting.
Thanks, mate. I knew I'd win that. My dad's got a great video of me on one of my first sports days, not paying any attention at the start of the egg and spoon race, and literally I'm just like stood looking around. Start gun goes, still stood looking around, and my dad shouts me going, "Josh, run!" And I like look around like, "Oh crap!" And then I peg it. Right, everyone's got like 5 seconds start. I peg it because obviously I shit myself, and I come second. Didn't win, obviously, Didn't start winning things until I turned 23, or 22. But yeah,
all brains, all brawn, no brains. All got all the physical ability, mate, but just not the cognition to match. That's fine.
Yeah. Indeed, Jack Bennett _fitness. Jack, my man, competed last year. Will probably compete next year, and has just launched his online coaching business. So Jackie's going for it. Jack has asked, how excited are you for the 2025 season and about how the natty scene is going off?
Going off. Would you say it's going off?
Popping off, bro. It's going off.
Popping off. Yeah. I'm excited for it all, mate. I'm excited for everything.
I'm excited this weekend to see the numbers at the PCA Natural Show, having seen the numbers at the previous PCA shows. Like, the lineups haven't been that stacked so far this year. I think the first time a show was, and then since then it's kind of, I don't want to say it's faded the right word. It's not been as popular. You know, there's been quite a lot of 2 people in a class, 3 people in a class, 1 person.
Sorry, was this first timers or PCA Naturals?
They're both this weekend, aren't they? But I'd like to see the naturals. As in, I'd like to see who turns
which one
up,
did you say,
what's the quality and what's the attendance.
Which one did you say is faded a little bit?
Just general PCA shows. I think that there's too many now that the supply isn't meeting the demand of shows.
Yeah. Got you.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing of PCA. They can always just be like, okay, we'll do less shows. At least they've put on that many shows. Fucking fair play to them.
Yeah. Like, there's value in giving it a go. If you was the head of the PCA, Tom, what would you do? How frequently would you have shows?
How many do they have now? Like twice a month?
Hang on. Twice a month? Mate, it's nearly I think it's 3 times a month.
Yeah, I think twice a month is more than sufficient.
I think there's been 10 shows already this year.
Jesus.
Let me just confirm. They did a post the other day. 8 shows in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Like 2 a month.
After this weekend, there'll be 10.
Yeah,
no, there won't. There'll be 11. Wow.
Yeah, there should be, I think, 2 a month throughout the year. 24 shows. That's more than sufficient.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
There's 8 to this point, and then between, let's say, the end of July to the start of September, there's 1, and it's the 31st of August.
Yeah.
So maybe just spread them out a bit more.
It's bittersweet because I wish I was competing in them, but there we go.
Oh dear! I keep forgetting that there's 4 PCA Natural Show. I keep thinking that there's 3, but there's 1 at the end of July, end of June, 18th of May, 29th of June, 27th of July, and the 28th of September.
Yeah, I've got a client doing the OCB.
Oh,
UK.
What, this weekend?
No. It's like towards the end of the year. The first OCB UK show, isn't it?
It is indeed. Is that the only person doing UK shows for you?
No, I've got another one towards the back end of the year. And then again, most of mine are just abroad, mate.
Yeah, it's mad that.
Weird. I don't know what's happened this year, but there we go. I'm here for it though. It's quite cool. It's interesting coaching people in like different time zones and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely fine. I've enjoyed it.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. I think it is interesting prepping and peaking people overseas.
Yeah.
So obviously time zones, all that kind of shit. It's a nice challenge for you.
The OCB in Florida, Treasure Coast, really need to work on their organisation skills. If you're listening.
OCB's like that in America.
Yeah. So like my client turned up to a show,
greatest.
and it said on the running order that he was going to be like, like I think the 5th or 6th class on, and he was like the first. So not prepared at all going in for it, but there we go. They just didn't stick to their running order that they sent on an email, like initially,
It still did well, though.
Very, very helpful. Yeah. He came second in his first show, which is awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
Against like older guys as well. So
That's
he's
all that
happy.
matters, mate.
I'm happy, but we could have had him a little bit better. That's the thing, but is what it is.
Don't stress, mate. Don't stress. I think I've got one more question in the DMs, and then that is all my questions for today.
Beautiful.
Crikey! My question won't fit in the box. For some context, this is a guy called Ty. For some context, I work full time, have a little boy, and currently 13 weeks into prep. Every now and then, I get asked for workout plans and general advice in the gym. I love bodybuilding. After this season, I would love to explore helping others, but I'm very aware of my lack of knowledge. Don't want to be the typical has a decent season, turns into a coach. Some advice on how to upskill myself to offer the correct support would be awesome. Cheers, love the pod. Sorry this question is longer than your new motor. Very good, Ty. Very, very good.
Well, obviously, learn from your own experiences. That's very, very important. I think anecdotal experience is extremely valuable. But if you're talking about just like the basic, like getting a general grasp of everything that takes like years and years and years to learn, like head over to websites such as MBW, head over to websites such as J3 University. You've also got the ICU, which is like a website that's ran by Callum Muscleman. Well, it used to be Muscleman. I still call him that. Callum Raystrick. And then other resources. You've got, what's it called? Nunez.
3DMJ. Yeah. 3DMJ.
Yeah, 3DMJ. That's a good one as well.
I think a really good starting point is MBW. There's courses on there, and it literally teaches you. It's AJ and Loz going through every phase that you could go through as a bodybuilder, right? Yeah. And you just apply that to the third person and do it as if you're coaching someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Obviously, that's not enough, really. You've got to understand everything. You can't just be a robot and recite everything that you read. You've got to understand why things happen, but that will come in time. I think one of the things that I find a little bit annoying is when people have one good season, they start coaching, but then they charge what their coach charged them. So, for instance, their coach may charge them upwards of £300 a month for coaching, right? Which isn't a rip-off if you can provide value of that amount every month.
Yeah.
But then they think, all right, he's done this with me. I think it's easy. I now know everything that they've taught me. I'm going to charge that for my first clients. And it doesn't really work like that. Like, yes, your coach has taught you everything that you know, but they've not taught you everything that they know. So...
yeah. It doesn't fucking matter what you learn in a textbook. Honestly, it does. Coaching is not about like reciting information in regards to how to execute a peak week, how to manage like all that shit. Like being a good coach, I think, is having a good baseline knowledge, but more importantly, being someone that is a good fucking people person and can learn how that person works, because every single person's body's different. You can't apply one thing from a textbook to one person, another person, expect the same result. And even with that one person, if you've done something in the past and it's worked well for them, it might not work well for them in the future. But the key is communication. The key to being a good coach is learning that person inside out, what makes them tick. And ultimately then dipping into your tool bag that you do have to be able to then apply that to that client. But then there's going to be tools which you need to learn as well for that client that you may not have had before in order to get the best out of that person.
100%. 1,000,000%. Just random. Have you been watching Will Tennyson on YouTube? Have you watched his peaking or watched his prep?
No, I haven't watched his prep, no.
Well, he won his pro card recently.
I saw.
And yes, wonderful, he won his pro card. He's now WNBF Pro, the top tier elite pro status in the world. But I've been following his prep on YouTube, and I followed his peaking process. And he's coached by someone that's meant to be the most intelligent bloke in Canada when it comes to, bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding specifically.
Yeah.
It was one of the worst peaking protocols that I've ever seen in my life. I honestly, I truly believe if it weren't for Will being Will, right, I don't think he'd have won his pro card. Because
Really?
for starters, there were 3 people in the overall. They gave pro cards to 2 people in one go rather than just picking an overall winner. I think the other guy had Will on pretty much everything. He just ended up... He basically went from pretty much perfect for the stage to ridiculously flat. His macros were something like... For 3 or 4 days, it was like 80 fat, less than 50 grams of carbs, 150 protein for days at a time.
Right, to deplete him.
Yeah, but to deplete what? He was already depleted.
Yeah.
Mate, honestly, watch it back. And if you're listening to this, watch it back, because how he's been peaked is there's alarm bells from the start. He got given his peaking. He got given his protocol to follow at the start of the week. That for me is like big old red flag. That means your coach has got one way of doing it and doesn't know any other way. And there's no responsiveness to the physique because you've got your plan, bro. Just follow the plan. Just follow the plan, mate. You know, trust the process, bro. Follow the plan. Eat fuck all. It's lazy and poor. Really poor. It got me riled. It still gets me riled.
Okay, I can understand from a perspective of if the coach gave him a peak week plan to share with his audience, fair enough. A lot of clients, I'm sure you've had this, is like, what are we doing for peak week? What are we doing for peak week? How's it looking? Like, what are we doing? I don't know yet, bro. Like, I don't know yet. We haven't ran a peak yet. This is your first ever one. But equally, it changes every single day depending on how you are looking. So if you've got a set plan in stone, that's a huge fucking red flag, as you said, because how do you know it's going to work? You know? They might be following the process that has worked well for you and maybe a couple of other clients, and then they look absolutely terrible, but then you stick to the plan, you look even worse. So like what I like to do is give a client a general idea of how like a linear load is going to look, right? And then that just in their mind kind of settles any like uncertainty and nerves. I'm like, look, this is like a general plan. This is going to change every day.
Yeah. For perspective as well, I've got 4 people competing this weekend. All 4 are doing completely different things when it comes to peaking because their physiques are completely different. I've got one person that still needs to dig a little bit because they're not quite as lean as what I would like them to be for the show. One person's completely and utterly battered by fatigue because we pushed quite hard the last few weeks. So their process looks different to the person that's digging. And then, to be fair, the other 2, they're in that sweet spot that you're already lean. It's just a case of dropping off fatigue and filling up a little bit. The easy protocol, I would call that. But you do it based off of the individual. Honestly, if anyone's listening to this and their coach has already said, right, we're going to run this protocol for peak week, and given them the exact grammage of everything that they're going to be doing, run. Fucking run. Your coach has got that from someone else, and they're just applying it to everyone. And I've seen this. What?
There might be someone listening to this that literally is following a to the T peak week plan, and now they're like, oh.
Challenge your coach. Challenge your coach. Challenge your coach. I encourage you to do this because I encourage my clients to challenge me when I'm asking them to do stuff.
Yeah.
If they're saying to you on Monday what to do for the next 5 days before you compete on the Saturday, run. How on earth can you tell by like just looking at someone what their body's going to do every single day, giving them a plan? It does not work like that. You need to be responsive. You need to be on the ball.
Yeah, give them a general idea, but then
watch Will Tennyson's videos. Right, the last 2 weeks of his videos. Look at his physique before depleting, and then look at it after depleting, and then after loading, and ask me which one looks the best. It is not tough to work out.
Was his legs in when
he looked
his peak week?
His legs and his glutes look better before peak week, right? And then what would then happen is, it started off. He did like 2 high days back to back, and then straight into digging fuck all food for 3 or 4 days, and then did some kind of linear load up to the show. But because of the duration that he spent flat, I don't think his body took up the carbs anywhere near as efficiently as what he would if they didn't do that depleting phase. So therefore it's just made him look soft as shit through his lower body. And don't get me wrong, I love Will Tennyson. I've watched his videos for years. I watched the videos and just thought, no, this can't be right.
Fuck's sake.
It actually, I've said this to AJ, it made me question my processes initially. Like, I wouldn't do this for my clients. Am I doing it wrong? And then you watch the rest of it and you go, no, I'm going to stick to what I know.
Yeah.
Lazy coaching. But Will's coach, if you want to come on, bro, no doubt that someone will send you this and say, oh, some jumped up men's physique competitor from the UK's had an opinion on this. You're more than welcome to come on and talk us through what on earth your rationale was behind it. So I do not understand it. I've done this for a long time.
Did he check in with his coach every day in peak week as well?
I believe so. It just didn't seem very responsive.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's like a bit like as a coach, you do learn as well. Like you learn, like coaches make mistakes, things don't go to plan and whatnot. Like for instance, with Zach, with Zach last year, for instance. Yeah, just with Zach last year, like you saw it yourself, mate. How like how his body is just strange. Like it's not strange. It's just like metabolism is fucking through the roof. And like with Zach, what we learned is like the next time we do a peak, we're going to have more days, probably like more than a week before he competes, of just putting in food just every single fucking day, just because his body is that responsive and requires that many calories, rather than having like a shorter window to like load in food. It's like as a coach, you do learn, but if you're not changing your plans and like paying attention to your athlete as well as what you could be, then you're not going to learn, are you?
No. Will Tennyson's coach is called CW Team Wilson. He's got 57,000 followers. I think he coached Steve Hall last year.
Okay.
And from what I can see on his Instagram, I've not looked at him that much. Very hit and miss.
Yeah.
Some people look soft as shit. Some people look like granite. But that is to be expected when you do peaking processes like he's done. So it does not work for everyone. But when you give everyone the same kind of approach, yeah, tricky, twicky.
Well, there we go, mate. Should we finish it there?
Yeah, mate. Let's finish it there. It's been good to be back.
We're back, baby. Do you want an outro?
Yeah. Thank you for listening, everyone. We will see you in the next episode in 102 Dalmatians, and yeah, thanks for all the love. See you next time, guys. Bye.
Bye. I need to finish the podcast. Goodbye.